Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes, even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. Number 15?
Never not working.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Head & Shoulders scalp shield, never not working.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
I miss all my friends in school.
Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
I'm returning to Clinton Parish, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Parish, we take the pain out of being heard.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
They say things are bigger in Texas. Well, Texas Cowboy Dust delivers big flavors every time. A flavorful blend of onion, Himalayan pink salt, dried shiitake mushrooms, and other ingredients that pair marvelously with steak, other red meats, and just about anything else you can cook. This versatile blend is all you need.
Let's get back to getting ticks instead of watching flicks. Before we can safely get out there, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your crew.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No! 7 times the... Yes! Music, gaming, Disney+, Hulu, ESPN+, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment! Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like.
Okay, hold on.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes, even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. Number 15?
Never not working.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Head & Shoulders scalp shield, never not working.
A pleasant good morning to everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Co-Host Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, Co-Host Brown, joined by special guest co-host, get that right, in the first hour, Charles Edmonds. Charles, good morning to you.
Good morning. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. It's really cold in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, about 26 degrees, but we have a show to get through, and we're going to do that. So, with that being said, today's guest menu looks like this. Of course, Charles Edmonds joins me in hour number 1. Following Charles Edmonds will be Coach Van Pettaway, the Co-Host Brown Show's basketball analyst. He'll join us talking Southwestern Athletic Conference basketball. We'll just get his thoughts on everything, his perspective. And then in hour number 2, we're going to talk some swag baseball with the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff head baseball coach Carlos James. We'll get his thoughts on his baseball team, UAPB. Also, the Andre Dawson Classic in conjunction with Major League Baseball. And then also his thoughts on the conference as they get ready for baseball season. And then last but not least, it will be Brandon B.J. Jones of Inside HBCU Football, and he'll join us on the show. Charles, if we get into basketball, last week, both Southern and Alcorn's men basketball team, they were undefeated. But after the weekend play, Saturday and Monday, both teams suffered their first loss of the conference season. Southern at Grambling State, Alcorn at home against Prairie View. But we talked about it. It's going to be a long, long race in the conference.
Yep, that it definitely is. And, we've had in the last week 2 one-point games. We beat Texas Southern by 1, and then we lost to Prairie View by 1. 2 great basketball games. And I think it just shows you that you never know what to expect in this conference. I mean, Prairie View, remember their first 2 games they had to forfeit. And so you wonder, what kind of shape they would be in. They led Jackson State, the game prior to ours, at halftime. And I think they just ran out of gas in the second half. And I think Jackson State executed. Just the opposite on Monday night. Prairie View executed. We defended the paint. I think we did a good job on the boards, although late in the game they had some key offensive rebounds. But they got in the paint and kicked it out to shooters, and they knocked down 3 critical threes that really broke our back. But then at the end of the day, we had Byron Joshua, sophomore, step to the free throw line with 0.7 of a second left at home to win the game, and he couldn't knock them down. So out of all of that, the Braves had a chance to win the game. So, congratulations to Prairie View. They showed their championship moxie and muscle. And I think, Prairie View's going to be a team as we get down the stretch to look out for. And now, if you look at the standings, Southern and Alcorn with one loss, and the Braves have two critical games in Florida. Now, I should be in Florida as we speak, talking to you from Tallahassee. Unfortunately, a few days ago, I tested positive, and therefore I was grounded, and will be for the next day and a half, couple of days. But I've got somebody that's going to do the game. A.D. Drew of the Black College Sports Network will be doing the game for me Saturday and Monday. I think Brian Fulford will join him on Monday. So I appreciate that. I appreciate his good work. And so I'm going to be on the shelf. I mean, I have to admit that these things happen. Hate that it happened because I was looking forward to going to Florida. I was looking forward to going to Tallahassee, looking forward to going to Daytona, but not the case this go round. But for the Braves, two big games, two games that are going to be trap games if you're not careful. And believe it or not, Carlos, who's the hottest team in the conference on the men's side? Florida A&M. They've won 3 in a row. They won. They beat Valley and Pine Bluff, and they did it without their head coach, who's in COVID protocols, and a couple of their top scorers also in COVID protocols. So they were against it, and they went on the road and got it done. And now, the Braves got to get it done here in a game that will start in a couple of hours.
We talked about during the season, it's long, and you're going to have some ups and some downs, how you face adversity. And by the way, big guy, hope everything is well. You'll be all right. You will make the adjustment. But the FAMU is on a roll, and it really is. Who will be able to sustain the season in the conference play, and then who will face adversity and overcome it? And I'm sure you're going to see that throughout the season. For Southern men's and women's basketball team, and we talked a little bit about it last week, traditionally, it is tough going into Grambling State. When Coach Pugh was at Southern University heading the women's basketball program, when Coach Banks was the men's basketball coach, many times, and I'll stress that, they will go into Grambling with, undefeated records in the conference play or very good records. It is tough to win in Grambling State University, and throw in the fact that it's a rival. So, I'm not surprised. You're disappointed as a Southern alum, but hey, it's tough going in there to win. But that does not make or break the season at this point. But as Coach Wood said, it kind of gets them, it gives them a lesson, okay, to learn that you can't do that. You got to always be focused, and that's what you're looking at with this Southern basketball team. On the women's side, they lost by 9, 55-46. From the field, they only shot 25%. Grambling shot 37%. From the free throw, 54% for Southern University. Leading the way for Southern University women's basketball team, Hunter Diamond with 15 points. Also, Genovia Johnson with 8 points, but Southern, their only game of the weekend against Grambling State, they lost that, Charles. And this women's basketball team, still only one conference loss. They're still in the thick of the race at this early point, I shall say, Charles.
Yeah, it is early, and we talked about it last week. And no Grambling in the Hobby Arena. Well, that's a tough building to play and win. We've had our head handed to us on the men's and women's side many a time there. I can say that Grambling plays at another gear when they play at the Hobby Arena. And it's just their crowd is into it. Their fans are into it. They probably have the most energetic home fan base in the entire conference. I would say top 3, top 2 for sure. And especially when you're playing your rivals, your travel partners in Southern University. So, you knew Southern was going to have to elevate their game and play well. They just didn't play well enough. And now, when you look at this schedule, remember now, you're not playing every team twice. Some teams you're only playing them once. So we only see Southern and Grambling one time, and that's in our next homestand coming up. We play Southern and Grambling coming up. So I think for Southern, clearly, they got to get back on track. For Grambling right now, I think Grambling's a team always down the stretch. They always seem to play well. So look, I think this is kind of what we expected in the Southwestern Athletic Conference as far as the race is concerned. My little bit of a surprise is Florida A&M doing as well as they're doing, 3 in a row on the men's side. Didn't see that one coming, but hey, that's what. And they were shorthanded. They were shorthanded when it happened. So I expect this race to get tighter. I expect teams as they go into Florida, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for us this week coming up. But I don't expect anything else other than a tight race on both sides. You got to deal with the COVID issues. Our women's team is grounded. They're not playing. They're not on the Florida trip. And these are 2 games they were looking forward to because we lost 2 tough games at home. Now they're not. They have to forfeit these next 2 games, FAMU and Bethune. So now they've got Southern and Grambling coming in 2 games they really have to have now. Because I thought maybe we could go to Florida and get 1 split and just kind of see what happens. But, we've dropped those 2. Now we only have 1 win. So now we got to get it going. I talked with Nate Kilbert the other day. He's in COVID protocols. He says it's time to get it going because I think the top 8 teams go. And so you look at that, 1 win. We're on the outside looking in, as you like to say. But again, there's still a lot of games left. A lot of things can happen, and some teams can get hot, and hopefully the Lady Braves can get hot.
Well, on the men's side, Charles, Southern University, they dropped the 83-77 decision to Grambling State. So 0-2 women and the men. And for Southern University, they were up by 1 at the half, 44-43. And then in the second half, they were outscored by 7. So the difference, 6 points, 83-77. The Jaguars shot 51% from the field. Grambling State, 52% from beyond the arc. 40% for Southern University, 35% for Grambling. So once again, can't stress it enough. It's tough going in to Grambling State University. The Jaguars drop to their rivals, both on the men's and the women's side, Charles. And I really believe this, though. This next home stand, of course, Southern University today against University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. And then that's Saturday. And then Monday, they got Mississippi Valley State. The recipe never changes. You got to win at home. And then you got to have some success on the road. And by the way, you're talking about FAMU, and Southern University went into Tallahassee and were able to get 2 on the road. That's lanyap if you go on the road and you win both of your games. So they have an opportunity to kind of continue to play well and face adversity, overcome it. Charles, if we can now, let's just switch a little bit. Coach Dooley, in Southern University football, he completed his coaching staff, and we're gonna put up some of the new additions on Southern University staff, and it's really welcome home for one. Terrence Graves was the interim head football coach at Grambling State University, but now he's coming back home at Southern University. What are your thoughts on that, Charles?
I think it's excellent. I mean, you look at what happened in the last game there in the Bayou Classic, what he was able to do there. I think great momentum for him individually, and for him to come back, to Southern University. I'm really impressed with Coach Dooley's staff overall. I think, Coach Graves up and down the line. I think Coach Dooley has done a nice job in filling out his staff. Some pieces and some people that Jaguar Nation is familiar with. Just as an outsider, if Fred McNair brought in some Alcornites and people that Alcorn fans were familiar with, I think they would be happy with that. We're looking for a defensive coordinator right now, as well as a strength and conditioning coach. We'll see how that goes. But I think when you are a head coach at the collegiate level and you bring in people that your fan base is familiar with, I think that always helps. I think that makes people comfortable. And I think that's what Coach Dooley has done by bringing in Coach Graves. as a special teams coordinator, linebackers coach, and assistant head coach. I'm sure he's going to be leaning on him quite a bit. He knows on the defensive side of the ball, he knows his stuff. And hey, I'm happy for him. And I think overall, as far as the staff is concerned, Coach Dooley has assembled a really good staff, and it's just a matter of coming together, putting the pieces in place, and we'll see what signing day comes. How they yield talent on signing day, because it's competitive out there. I mean, you see what Jackson State's doing. It's a lot of people in the portal. That conversation's come up again in terms of recruiting from the portal as compared to freshmen and building it from the ground up. That conversation has come up. I saw a post on Facebook the other day. Someone thinks they just forget about the portal, recruit freshmen. I just think that's just not realistic right now. I just think coaches are under pressure to win right now. You get experience, you get talent. You can get on the high school level. There's a lot more on the collegiate level. So all that will play a factor. But overall, I'm happy as a fan, as a SWAC fan, as someone that covers Southern and loves the Jaguar Nation and Southern University. I think Coach Dooley is doing it right. Fans are going to be comfortable with that staff, and hey, let's go. Let's see what happens come first Wednesday in February, spring ball. And once Southern kicks off the season, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, and ultimately, it's going to come down to win and losses on the field. Southern University, as other institutions right now, you got one more weekend. Next weekend's the last weekend. You could bring in recruits. I think you're going to see a mixture of high school recruits. Southern University had a big class in this weekend. High school, you're going to have a mixture of kids from the transfer portal. And yeah, as we see also a couple more additions to the staff. Assistant Director of Football Operations, Earl Mackey. Also, Sean Wallace. Now, you remember that name, Sean Wallace. Played at Southern University, a safety. Has some experience at Mentorship Academy, charter school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but now he's going to join the staff at Southern University. And Sean Wallace, man, and what sticks out about Sean Wallace, he was an undersized safety. He was a guy in 1993, Coach Richardson's first year there. He was like a renegade, a bad boy, but he was able to change on the field, and I never forget. It was maybe the final scrimmage. A couple of things went wrong, and the coaches were frustrated. Sean Wallace, from all accounts, from what I've been told, called the players only meeting, and they got it right. In their first game, the first game under Coach Richardson was in the Superdome against Northwestern State. Southern University blew them out. So you look at a guy like that who has overcome adversity. Now he's going to be on the coaching staff. And we often talk about getting opportunities. Here's another chance or opportunity. So a young staff mixed in with some veteran coaching. Coach Graves, you just got to love him. He's back. And him and Coach Dooley have a relationship that goes on a long, long time. So I look forward to it. Spring practice starts in March. When you look at this football program, expectations are going to be high. And right, you see the recruiting that's going on, Jackson State, Alabama A&M, and boy, by the way, Grambling State University. On social media, Grambling State was able to flip a commitment. And again, commitment means committed until they actually sign on the dotted line. Now everybody's in the uproar. And hey, who wants to be at Southern University? Who wants to be at Alcorn State? They're going to be there. You go with who you have, and you go for it. No matter how many stars that recruit has, how much potential, it goes to this. You still got to coach up those players. And when they leave from that university, have they become better? Were they a better student or they're better student athlete than when they first got there? I'm excited. It's a lot of pressure, Charles. It's a lot of pressure. But you're seeing all of the institutions doing very well in recruiting. And again, you got to remember, it's wants versus needs. What do I need to make my program better? Whether it's basketball, football, baseball. What do I need? You get to take care of that first. And then wants, that comes second. Needs versus wants. But as you can see, Earl Mackey, Assistant Director of Football Operations, congratulations. Coach Terrence Graves back on the bluff. And also, you look at Sean Wallace, safety coach, back home. You got to really be excited, Charles. You really do.
I mean, I'm excited for the SWAC as a whole. We said it this time last year. We couldn't wait, and now with Hugh Jackson coming on board and all the hype and hoopla behind some of the players that he's flipping and signing, just like we all are trying to do. For me, the excitement is there, but because I'm on campus and I get a chance to mix and mingle with the coaches, until I see some of these kids on campus, then that's when I kind of really that tells me a lot right there. Because let's face it, some of the kids that you sign, they never make it to campus for whatever reason, and so therefore, your excitement is tempered a little bit. But for me, I'm always excited to see the names, and then I want to wait and see are they on campus, are they are they on the field. So let's see how that goes. I mean, clearly what Jackson State is doing is tremendous, but the other schools are doing the same thing, and we know Jackson State is now the hunted because everyone's trying to go for them and trying to match what Coach Sanders is trying to do there. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, the excitement for Southern, the excitement at Alcorn, got some pieces to replace, got a quarterback to find. We got a kid from Louisiana Tech, a transfer that I saw the interview with him, a good kid. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. That quarterback competition is going to be as fierce as it's been probably in the last 7 or 8 years, considering Alcorn's quarterback has always been groomed and ready. This is the first time in a number of years that hasn't been the case. So it does, for me, give me a little bit of anxious moments, because you could get a kid like this kid from Tech that's got the experience. He may be the number one. He might not be. So it's going to bring some angst to Braves fans to see who the number one quarterback should be. The kid from Memphis from last year that didn't hit the field, will he be the guy? So I think there's going to be a lot of conversation in Braves Nation in terms of who's going to be the quarterback. And of course, you got to have that. No quarterback, no chance. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shapes and evolves during the course of the spring.
And it's interesting with Coach Dooley, known as the offensive guru, great offensive mind. But if you look at so far the commitments and where he's going on the defensive side. And so thus, one of your famous chants, Charles, Dog Day D, will it return? Because if you look at it defensively, they had some issues last year. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting that the assessment that Coach Dooley has made, he's plugging into the defensive side first, and then I think everything else will fall into pieces. I'm seeing everybody. Good morning to everyone that is watching. Ralph Holly, appreciate it. He says, Mr. Edmonds, is Alcorn baseball schedule finalized? And we'll just start reading some of the comments. Michael Cavalier, good morning, Carlos and Charles. Good morning, Michael. Michael's a big Dallas Cowboy fan, so I'm not going to say anything else about that. Well, I can't talk. I'm a Saints fan. Saints fan didn't make it, so hey. But Charles, your Rams are still in it.
Yes. Yes, they are. Yes.
I still think it was a conspiracy going on with the Rams. But I'll let that one alone. Against the Saints.
Yeah. Well, Carlos, believe it or not, I was going to try to do an Intel trip if I made it to Florida. I don't know how far it was going to be from Tallahassee to Tampa, but we play tomorrow at 2:00 in between trips. I was going to try to get to Tampa, if only for a couple of hours, and take a selfie at Raymond James Stadium and get back on the road. Just be a part. That was something I was really thinking about doing. Of course, wasn't going to be at the game, but just to be a part of that ambiance, I thought that would be pretty pretty neat. But for Dallas Cowboy fans, it's rough. It's brutal. I tell you, it's I don't know what else to say. The Cowboys just can't seem to get out of their own way. And I do think some changes need to be made. I mean, when you don't get to where you want to be, when you falter like that, there's got to be some changes. Now, changes might come anyway, which your OC and DC might be leaving, but some changes have to happen with that organization from top to bottom in the middle. I don't know, but something has to happen. In the NFL, when you don't get to the Super Bowl, when you come up short, whether NFC Championship or AFC, whatever the case, when you don't get there, some changes need to be made, even if it's minor, just to show folks that you got to make a change. Something's got to happen there in Big D. I don't know what, when, or where, or how, but something's got to happen. And I think, I will say the same for my Rams. If the Rams don't get there, because they're all in, they don't have draft picks. This is it. They don't have much after this year if they don't get there. If they don't get to the Super Bowl, which is in their own home stadium. So that's just my NFL take on it, my NFL rant on it. And I don't know. For Cowboys fans, I feel for you. And I might be saying the same thing this time next week if the Rams fall off the cliff at Tampa tomorrow.
Well, I know one thing. A lot of teams are built for the win now. And if you don't win now, the results are they're going to be changes. And maybe on another show, we can talk about one of the things that you've seen also, like the head football coach at the Miami Dolphins got let go, after one season? African-American head football coaches in the NFL, they recycle coaches, but once again, here we go talking about an opportunity. And whether you make it or not is based on the opportunity, and once you get there, what happens. So we'll kind of get into more of that in future shows. Varick, good morning. He said Sadler was injured. That was a big injury that he felt that the Jaguars, because of that injury, was one of the reasons why, or the main reason why they lost. Ralph says, does anyone have a football schedule out? Well, I had Coach Banks on a couple of weeks ago, director of athletics at Southern University, and his indication was the announcement was coming soon. But as far as conference play, pretty much you kind of flip the conference schedule from the previous year. Edwin, appreciate you tuning in. Do you agree that there has been a lot more focus this year who is on the coaching staff? It used to appear to me that, it went a little too fast, about HBCU fans. But now I think because of what's going on and the climate of the country now, you're getting top recruits. Looking back at HBCUs, I really do believe it's important on your staff. And Charles, I often talked about position coaches. They need opportunities to financially be rewarded more because they work closely with the student athletes, and you've got to have a good staff around the head coach. He can't do it all.
Nope, he can't. And you've always talked about it. And it is true. I mean, it's saying without saying. Your staff is what makes this thing go. Head coach can only do so much. So again, if you get the right guys at the right fit at the right time, I think you will be fine. Now, I think the problem though is what we're seeing right now. There's pressure to win right now. It's the win right now mentality. And I think for all the stuff that Dooley has done and his hires, people expect Southern to be off and running right now. And I think that's where I would say slow down a little bit, because there are going to be some players on that roster that are not going to buy in. They're going to, just like it is in any change in any company, there are going to be some employees that are not going to buy in. They're going to leave or get let go, whatever the case. So you got to factor all that stuff in.
They'll be gone, Charles. If you don't buy in, it's just like a private business. And
correct.
And I think expectations have always been high, no matter what institution you're at.
So when it happens, then you got to find replacements, and it's not always that easy. And I think we think as fans, you got to be able to plug and play. It's not quite that simple. So I think that's why I'm a little bit more patient when it comes to coaching hires. Got to give it a little time. When I say how much time, a couple of years. I think it takes to flush things out, to get it lined up correctly. Sometimes it happens right away. Fred McNair was the head coach when Jay Hobson left, but a lot of those pieces were already there. McNair kept things status quo for the most part, and you see the run that we had. That's kind of the exception rather than the rule. That doesn't typically happen now. Typically, new coaches come in, they flush it out, they keep a couple of coaches, and you just kind of go from there. So there's going to be a period of adjustment for Coach Dooley, just like it is for Hugh Jackson. There's going to be a period of adjustment. Some players not going to make the grade. Some players are transferred. So we'll see. And I'm just saying, let's just be patient. I'm a Grambling Knight. I'm patient. Let's see what Hugh Jackson does. He's making a lot of big splashes, and we'll see how it all evolves.
Yeah, Charles, you are patient. You're very patient. And we often joke, if me and you were a director of athletics, which we're not, I'm sure people will say, I'm going to work for Charles because he's going to be patient. And Carlos he's not going to be as patient. Well, I think I'll be fair, though. I'll give you all the tools you need to work with. And I won't micromanage. I will say simply this: if you have a problem, just come talk to me. Let me know. I'll work with you. But at some point, my head is on the line. Charles, and your head will be on the line. So you've got to have a good, competent staff around you. But business is business. And that's what happens. So with that being said, let me take a break. We've kind of talked about Southern University's coaching staff completed. Got into a little bit of recruiting. Talked to a little bit of you who are watching. We'll continue to read your comments as well. Coming up next, we're going to visit with the basketball coach, Coach Van Pettaway. He'll join me next on the Carlos Brown Show. We'll be back after this timeout here on the Carlos Brown Show on the Black College Sports Network.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
I miss all my friends in school.
Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
I'm returning to Clinton Parish, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Parish, we take the pain out of being heard.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
They say things are bigger in Texas. Well, Texas Cowboy Dust delivers big flavors every time. A flavorful blend of onion, Himalayan pink salt, dried shiitake mushrooms, and other ingredients that pair marvelously with steak, other red meats, and just about anything else you can cook. This versatile blend is all you need.
Let's get back to getting ticks instead of watching flicks. Before we can safely get out there, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your crew.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No! 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment!
Because everyone deserves better.
And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes, even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. Number 15?
Never not working!
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Head & Shoulders scalp shield, never not working.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
I miss all my friends in school.
Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
I'm returning to Clinton Parish, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Parish, we take the pain out of being heard.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show, right here on the Black College Sports Network, joined by Charles Edmonds and now guest Coach Van Pettaway, former men's basketball coach at Alabama A&M. And Coach, good morning to you. I know you love to hear that human jukebox. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Carlos. Yeah, it brought back some bad memories because when that pep band was loud and in charge, that means that you were in trouble when you were in the FG Clark Activity Center.
Yeah, I understand that, and Coach, it was always a pleasure to see you at least come to the FG Clark Activity Center. And Coach, could you have being a coach at Southern University, would that have been something that maybe you could have done in a different time?
Yes, yes. I've always liked the atmosphere at Southern, and I've liked the program, the overall program. I think that Southern was one of the first schools in the SWAC that really put an emphasis on athletics. So, I would have enjoyed working for Southern.
Yeah, but you look right at home with that maroon and white and Alabama A&M, and then talking with you before some of the matchups with Coach Whitney, Coach Job. Oh boy, it's been some outstanding coaches on the basketball side in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Coach.
Right, and they continue that trend right now. They've got a group of coaches now that are really getting it done.
I think we may have lost Coach Pettaway for a second, but Charles, it's Pettaway about the conference race as well in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and then that's where I was going on to. But if you look on, we'll start on the women's side. Of course, Jackson State, Charles, is humming along. 5-0 in the conference. Now they're above 500 overall on a 5-game winning streak. They're 5-0 in conference. Southern and Alabama State tied at number 2, 4-1. Of course, the Jaguars on a 1-game losing streak. Alabama State, they've won 2 in a row. Then Arkansas Pine Bluff, who is in the F.G. Clark Activity Center today, they're 4-2, and they're one of the hottest teams with a 4-game winning streak. And then Prairie View A&M, 3-3, Texas Southern 3-3, Grambling State 2-3, Alabama A&M 2-3, FAMU 2-3, Bethune-Cookman 1-4, Alcorn 1-4, and Mississippi Valley State 1-5. Of course, the Jack State Lady Tigers sit atop the league, 5-0. FAMU's Dylan Horton was tabbed Player of the Week, while Texas Southern's Andrea Avent was named Impact Player of the Week. So, when you look at it, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Coach Thornton coming in today at the F.G. Clark Activity Center. That's going to be a big matchup because they're one of the hotter teams on a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, I mean that's the one team that I'm really looking forward to seeing that I haven't seen that much of. I understand that she has some really good players that fit her system. And they play together too, Carlos. If you follow her on social media, probably from the summer, they do a lot of stuff together, that bond and that camaraderie that they have between players and coaches. They have a lot of fun, and I think that breeds success as well. I think Coach Pettaway would know when you have a team in which players and coaches are all together, they're having fun together. When it comes to business, it seems like fun, and I think that's what helps that program. And Dawn Thornton is that kind of person. She likes to have fun. She likes to be loose, and that team's playing together. But it's going to be a test, though. It's clearly going to be a test these next couple of games, to see you're going into 2 tough places, Grambling and Southern, and I'm anxious to see because then when you look at that, then they got Alcorn coming up, and then they've got Jackson coming up. So I think for them, if they want to stay in the top crust of the conference, these are 2 games that they need to get. If they split on the road, I think it's a positive thing for them. But I'm anxious to see how Pine Bluff continues to evolve. And I understand they got a really good player from Texas coming in next year. That I've seen her on social media. She's really good in the backcourt. Got a lot of moves, and I think UAPB is a team that's up and coming. Coach Thornton has that team going pretty good right now.
Right, and Charles, that game was the game that I was really looking forward to this weekend, seeing if Pine Bluff is for real. I think it's a big test for them, and this weekend will tell a lot. And then the other thing I was looking to on the women's side was the Alabama State going out to Texas. they've got to win out there if they want to stay close to Jackson State, because that race is on the women's side. That's a three-headed race right now, or a four-headed race right now, and those four teams, they've got to be consistent. You got to win at home, and you can have no less than a split on the road in order to try to stay up with Jackson State.
And Coach, Jackson State women, they're the favorite. But if we look at last year, Alabama State really gave them a run for their money. Can anyone have success against Jackson State? Or are they going to have to earn this conference regular season title?
Well, I don't think they're going to give it to them. They got to earn it. But and they're sitting pretty right now. They're going out. They're taking the Florida road trip, and these road trips are going to be very important because Jackson State plays well at home. So if they can go on the road and steal a few games, then that puts them in the driver's seat coming down the stretch. But I think the other teams, when you look at Southern, you look at what Pine Bluff is doing, these teams are not, and Alabama State, they're not going to just let Jackson State walk away with that title. They're coming after them. They're coming after them.
And Coach, talk about, and me and Charles talked about in our number one, Southern on the women's side and the men, they went into Grambling State, and we've seen over the past year that's a tough place. Throw in it's a rivalry. They walked right into a buzzsaw, and